Hi there, my name's Tristan. Welcome to my channel. What I'm going to do today is show you how I make Ormus and the preparation that goes into me making my Ormus. Right, without further ado, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Get some more information about Ormus, what it does, the effects, the tests that I've run myself, and things that I've noticed happening to me over the time of taking Ormus. So no further ado, let's get into the video. I'll show you from start to finish completely what I do. If you have any questions, like I said before, just comment in the comments below, and I'll try and answer it as best as I can. I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. I've been a full-on vegan, raw vegan for about 4 years. Yeah, let's get into the video. Right here, as you can see, this is the start of the preparation. This purified water, steam purified. I put some stills in here to show you what and how I distill my water. It's basically steam distilled with coil, copper coil runs down through a passive fan, which cools the water and drips back out the bottom into a nice clean jar. But what we've got going on here is I built a magnetic spinner, water vortexer, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a computer fan, ice cream tub, vegan ice cream tub, stuck in the bottom, sort of couple of really powerful magnets stuck to the fan, and then that's laboratory grade magnetic spinning device, whatever you want to call it. And then we got around the outside all magnets. What we're doing is pretty much magnet spinning the water, smashing up the molecules and bringing them down to a size that's big enough for your cells to absorb. So we've got our magnetic water, and then they've been taken up here, as you can see in this part of the video. They're put up upstairs at night. In that sweet box there is an air pump. There's a filter on the top of that, which is just basically a hole cut out with a coffee filter to strain out any particles from the air. 2 windows are open, so it's pretty much sucking in the air outside. And over this time, it's a full moon, so I'm trying to gather the Ormus that's naturally forming in the air and pumping it into the water. We'll have some test results to show you the difference between full moon Ormus and just making it on a regular day, but it is better to make it on a full moon. Well, this part here, just adding the salt, some Dead Sea salt picked up. Got a Dead Sea salt, we've got some Himalayan salt, and Celtic sea salt, the better ones to make it out of. And don't really get a big yield out of the Himalayan salt, but the Dead Sea salt, a little bit of Epsom salt in there as well. It tends to give you a big yield. But as you can see, I'm just adding the salt to the water. That's a litre of water there. Get through. That's 4 spoonfuls. I'll probably do about 8 tablespoonfuls of salt. It's 4 in that litre, and then I'll put 4 in the other litre. Give or take, it depends. You don't have to put the exact amount in every time. It's how you want to make it. It's what you believe in when you're making it. As you can see, the area I'm preparing this all in is it's basically a tinfoil shield. It's all shielded all around the walls on the outside, on the table underneath. And then there's a cardboard shielding that goes over the whole operation. And that's also a double layer of tinfoil. The silver tray you see it, the aluminium tray it's sitting on at the moment. The white mat underneath that is my homemade grounding mat, which is basically a long length of copper wire woven in through a loosely woven wall mat. So the wire sticks through as long as there's no kinks and no bends in it, it's pretty comfortable. I lay under my legs every night. Seems to help me have a deep sleep. But what I'm doing is basically grounding it to the earth, so it's getting any bad vibrations, any energy that's going into it that's bad, that's not good for it, will be taken out through the ground into the floor. But it gives it a bit more connection to nature. You know, from what it's sitting on now, I might be sat out in the garden doing it straight onto the ground, which, if you know anything about energies, it's it's grounding, it's connecting. We've got our salt in both jars. There's 4 in each. And we've got 2 Himalayan and 2 Celtic sea salt in the back jar, and 4 Dead Sea salt in the front jar. Just give them a stir until they dissolve. The Dead Sea salt and the Celtic sea salt, I would advise to strain them through, because you get the particles. Half of Himalayan salt is basically rock. All the pink stuff you see is the rock from the rock salt, where it comes from in the mountains. So you really want to dissolve it all as much as possible. Depends how much you put into volume of water, is how long it will take to dissolve. You can add little bits of water as you're pouring it through a filter, but I would definitely use a coffee filter and a funnel to strain it through, to get all the particles, get all the bits out, so you get some nice clear Ceylon water from what you're doing. Right, now we're just getting a big jar. For me, it's a 3 litre jar. I think the Americans would just be under a gallon, probably about 3/4 of a gallon. Just preparing a few rocks, a few crystals. In the background, I'm playing Tibetan bowls, singing bowls, which are being broadcasted into the room from the station behind me. So you get the vibration, you get that loving feeling. You know, people that have taken my Ormus, and when I've taken my Ormus, you get the feeling of there is that love there. You can feel, I can feel the energy of it. People that have given it to, people that have had problems with their cells upstairs, have had miraculous changes from taking the substance. If you look at all the research on it, what it is it's good for humanity. But have a look into magnetic water. Obviously, structuring your water, magnetic water is very important to drinking water, drinking distilled water. You can drink just distilled water, but you're not taking in as many molecules as what you should be. Because obviously, when you're smashing up the vortex, you're restructuring it, you're bringing it back to life, to its life, and the rivers and the oceans, crashing over rocks, and getting them vortex spins, but also the magnets. You're basically smashing them to a small enough size so they fit into your cell. Since I started drinking magnetic water, I could do 8 or 9 pints of water in a day quite easily from a tap, and then I found out about it. Started purifying my water anyway, because I turned vegan and didn't like what they put in our water. And basically, with my diet, I'll probably do a litre of water a day, and I'm never thirsty, always hydrated, and it absorbs better. You don't lose as much of it. But I think the guy who studied it is Japanese. His name's Dr. Masa Emoto. You have to have a look into it. Start understanding what water is. You're having a bit more appreciation for it. The more appreciation for it you have, the better it's going to be for you. And you will understand that if you learn a bit more about it. Obviously, you're here to learn how to make Ormus, so you're here to bet yourself, make yourself. We all have our reasons for making Ormus and take Ormus. And all of them sort of follow the same reason, is to be pure and healthy. And that's just the way me and my family have been for the last 4 years now. Raw and pure, don't try not to feed my children anything chemicals whatsoever. Don't drink any water apart from purified water. And the nearest we get to toxic stuff is maybe your carton of pure juice from the shop, which is not. I don't like that. Obviously, the kids got to drink something. No, we're just processing the saline water through. As you can see, it's still quite murky. I've put quite a bit of salt in for the volume of water, but I have to be careful with my water because the amount of the 7 of us here, we have to drink it. Plus, I have to make them almost. So it's a lot of making of my water. It takes up a lot of time, but it's worth it. I do use spring water. I've had some tests to travel around the UK to go to different springs, holy springs, and use that water for my Ormus as well. Get good results from it. It's a bit weird. I have to go around and get the water and then go and get it tested to make sure there's no pollutants, no pesticides or any chemicals in it. So I'll try and find the purest stuff from untainted areas. But as you can see, we've got it in there now. We're gonna give it a good stir, get our vortex going, start, creating a vortex with your mind. And then what we've got there is sodium hydroxide, or lye, as Americans call it. You can use sodium carbonate, you can use sodium bicarbonate, you just have to bake the sodium bicarbonate for, about 4 or 5 hours at 200 degrees or over 400 Fahrenheit for all that time to basically expel the bite out of it, and you get sodium carbonate, which you can use, which makes a nice Ormus. It makes a pretty thick, creamy Ormus. It's I'd say a bit powdery on the taste, but I do like using that because it's all natural, especially if you can get some natural Ormus, natural bicarbonate. But the sodium hydroxide is food grade. As long as it's washed properly, it's just as good. You can obviously use other types of lye. We've used ash, where you burn hardwood, burn it down to an ash, and you mix it in water. I'll use a funnel and a coffee strainer, and basically put it into the funnel and coffee strainer, and let the water run through, and you get a good pH of about 14 out of it. Some of it, if you make it strong enough, if you leave it for a while, it gets even stronger. But yeah, it's good to use. You've got to make sure you use the right with it, won't tear. But what we've got here is I'll put in the sodium hydroxide, a couple of bit squirts at a time. I sort of know roughly how much it's got to go in all together, so I don't need my pH meter and pH tester at the moment. But as you can see, when you put it in, it almost clouds up, it sticks together, it moves. You can see it and watch it, and you spun the water. The water stops spinning at some point, but this life, this creation, it just keeps floating around. It drops to the bottom, it piles up in the middle where the vortex was, and you can see little bits lifting up and flying around. And I think they used to call them white doves. We'll just carefully add the Ormus, listen to me. Carefully add in the sodium hydroxide of the lye. Just giving it a bit of creation, a bit of good thought now, because it's bursting into life. I think of love and energy. I think of the good times with my family. I'll never make it in a bad mood, which I'm not rarely in a bad mood, because don't know, I kind of changed when I turned vegan. I used to be an angry guy, and I went kind of placid and nice and loving, and very tearful sometimes, and that's quite weird because I'm quite used to be a man's man, and now some simple things can just upset me. But I suppose that's all part and parcel of opening your love chakras and moving up in in your Solomon's temple, which is the soul of man. The gold is the gold you reach in the top of your head in the heavens, and this is what Ormus will help you do. As you can see, we're still adding it on, just doing it slowly. You can do it a bit faster, you can have bigger syringes, get a bit more in there, but I like taking time. I like to let it spin, let it move around. I'll watch it, I understand that it's life, that's it's alchemical energy, spirit. The same energy that's in you is what's in me, is in the Ormus. And all we're doing really is replenishing it. Because today's society and today's life, all these electricals around us will naturally push the Ormus away from you. If you've looked into any Ormus and you've seen Dave Hudson's research on it, Dave Kane as well. Dave Kane's done a lot of research on it. Yeah. There we go. Give it a little mix. Don't want to ruin the white doves. Give it a little push about. Still adding lye. Be careful slowly. Be careful. Lye is very dangerous. Get it on your hands. I've had plenty on me. Splashed. My hands, on my arms, on my feet. My partner's had it on her, but doused with the white vinegar. She didn't really like the smell, but it gets rid of the barren straight away. So there we go, just adding more and more. I just got the little one out just to show you. I usually use a bigger syringe, but I just want to take the time, so you don't want to rush this. It's something that needs to take time. You need to think about it. It needs to be something you're conscious about. You don't want to be sat there thinking about what you're going to go shopping for tomorrow, what you're making it. It's something you need to concentrate, you need to focus, you need the energy on it. Music in the background, vibration. I put different frequencies into it. I put higher frequencies for the people that are trying to activate crown chakras and your head chakras. So all about a higher frequency in there. We make the powder sometimes, but I've always found this, you get more out of the liquid and it's easier to deal with. I don't believe in heating it up too much and burning it down a bit. At some point, there's heat kills spirits. The same when you cook vegetables, when you cook the energy, the soul, the spirit, the mana, the prana inside the vegetable. When you cook it to a certain degree, it's basically killing off that soul, that energy, that live energy. It's why 90% of my food raw. In a way, I believe the same this, because it's Ormuses and everything. It's the Ormus you're killing in the fruits and vegetables when you're cooking them. So I take it it's the same process when you heat the powder up. You do get benefits out of it, because I understand people that do take the powders, but I don't feel that's the same experience and same feeling you get when you take Ormus in liquid form. As you can see, it's just starting to raise up. I ain't pH tested it yet. The volume of water I use, the amount of salt in the Ormus, and the sodium hydroxide will get to a creamy, thicker substance before a full lot of white all the way down. You see the top part where it's white now. Pretty much all the way to the bottom it'll be white, thick and creamy when it's getting near to the 10.78, which is a crucial mark. You don't really want to go over 10.78 because you get some nasty stuff called gillcrest and a few other bits that form into it. It's not something you want, so I usually stop about 10.6, maybe just a little bit over. Through some of the testing that I've done and tried over the years, it fluctuates towards, it can go up and down over the days, over the hours. I've been in and tested it at different, 2 or 3 different times in the day, and I've had 2 or 3 different readings. So it does change. It's got there's a strange magical substance that's not fully understood. It was fully understood back in the ancient times, but it's something that science and people like Dave Hudson and Dave Kane have tried to bring forward and find out what it actually is. Well, they know what it is. They just, yeah. There you go. You can see it's starting to get a bit thicker, a bit creamy. Just putting it on the side, keep the spin going a little bit, give it a bit of force. I don't want to keep putting my wooden spatula in there. Wood's okay. When you're making Ormus, don't use when you're actually making your Ormus, don't use metal spoons or anything plastic, because you don't want the toxins. We're using sodium hydroxide. It burns your skin. So when you're putting it onto spoons and plastic spoons, metal spoons, and things like that, what it's doing is going to leach out the toxins into the Ormus, and the Ormus is going to be tainted. And if anything, it's going to do more harm than good, because unfortunately, the Ormus will take on the effects of stuff, the environment that's around you, your thought processes, and it's the same with water. Water will, if you look into water, it will take on the memory of the toxins in the plastic, and it's just as bad as drinking the toxins of the plastic itself. So you don't really want to use any of that, and it will leach it out. So it's best to use wooden, unstained wooden, because obviously you don't want anything in there inside the wood to come out. But then I could say the same for the the plastic syringe that we're using. This is the baby syringe, so it's pretty much toxin free. But if you can, use a glass turkey paster. Best practice is to keep everything glass as much as you can. But wood's natural, so you're making almost from natural sea salt, so natural wood is, can't seem to be any problem with making it, other than consider I used wood ash as a live substance before. It does work well. You render a little bit more, say a little bit more almost with the wood ash, because it's you're taking the ormic material out of the wood as well when you're burning it down. There we go. We're getting a creamy substance now, so I'll start testing the pH. Obviously, the pH tester is calibrated. Pretty much every time I start doing a new batch, because I only really do batches around the full moon, just before the full moon, over the full moon, and after the full moon. So that's not something that I make all through the month. It's the times we try and get the ormic M state out of the air and put it through the bubblers and the aerators. So we stick that through the air, through the bubblers and the aerators, and there's Ormus in the air all year round, but it's more prevalent when the moon's out. And it's a known practice to use. There we go, just pouring a bit in. I've done it for that much. I know the creaminess of it, just for somebody who's just learning how to do it. pH meter, digital one. Make sure it's calibrated. You can get the cheap £10 ones or $10, but you want something at least for £30, something that's half decent. It's got more than two digits on it, and something you can calibrate quite often and make sure it keeps up to spec. But you don't really want to take it up to the 10.78, because like I said, through the testing that I've done, it fluctuates all the time. Before I do a water change, every time I'm testing the pH and I'm doing my washes and the pH changes, just be careful when you do a wash. Try not to disturb the Ormus at the bottom when you're pulling out your water. Don't mix it up whatsoever from when you do your fast water, because when you mix it up, to say for instance you've made your Ormus, it's been over 24 hours, you've got your saline salt water on top, your saltless water on top, and you've got your Ormus material down the bottom. Do not stir it again, because for some reason, which is unknown, because when you start trying to test this stuff and experiment with it, results become quite strange. But what it will do is it will shoot the whole pH right over 12, and that's, I've done that, mixed it up, and I've gained more Ormus, but where we know over 10.78 you start to get dangerous stuff, I'm getting a lot of dangerous materials starting to form inside the Ormus. So you don't really want to stir it up once it's made, it just wants to settle, just wants to leave it, pull out the top water, nice neutral pH, fresh water to go back in it, and the pH will stay about 10.6 to 10.7. So you need to keep it under, because you don't want to go over. Don't do it straight up to the 10.7. You can see some people doing it, because it's not best practice. As you can see, I made my lye solution a little bit too weak, but I need a full tub of I need to fill up the 3 litre jar. Just testing that to see where it's coming up as. Usually about 12, 13. Some fine granules I had. Just let that set a little bit. Give it another stir. Get the pH tester in there. I test it one more time. It's nearly about ready. It's not far off. Just need a little bit more. And you see we've got Tibetan bowls going in the background. All Wi-Fi is turned off inside the house, to keep as much interference away from the Ormus as possible. If you didn't know anything about Ormus, obviously, like I said before, if you want to check out Dave Hudson or Dave Kane's video about Ormus, get you into an insight of what it really is, what it does, and how it affects you. But basically, it affects you however you want. It's there. It's pure soul. It's pure energy waiting to become something. It's down to you to make it become that. Take Ormus in a bad mood. You have you won't have the best of moods. You have to take Ormus in a good mood. You stay in that good mood. For some reason, some Ormus that I take seems to amplify how you feel. One day you take it when you're tired, and you would just, it would amplify your tiredness, and be asleep within a few minutes of that overall tiredness coming over me. And then on days that you're energetic, and I could take it in the morning. I take 2 spoonfuls in the morning, 2 spoonfuls at night. My morning ones keep me charged up for the day, keep me going. I do quite a lot of intermittent fasting, so I don't really eat for a long period of hours for 24-hour period. Basically I eat about 6 hours of every 24-hour period, which is healthy. You wouldn't believe how much energy I have through the time that I'm not eating. More energy. I'll notice now if I have a snack in between, before I stop fasting, I would have to, it basically send me to sleep. So I try not to eat anywhere before 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And if I can go longer, I'll go longer. It's quite easy. Once you get used to it, so it's not a hard process. But yeah, we're just topping up the last bit now. get that up to the 10.6. As I said before, I don't really want to go over that because it's something that's, you know, it's going to create those bad end state materials, and you don't want, you want the good stuff. You know, gold, platinum, rhodium, rhodium, all the platinum metals, they come out over 10.5, so you know, 10.6, 10.65, 10.7 at most is what some of mine come out at. If the batches at any point go over 10.78, or discard them, won't put them into production, because obviously I don't want to take it, my children don't want to take it, and you know, being all up for humanity and the spiritual side of things, I don't really want to push poisons on anybody else. So anything that's, you know, not done right will be discarded. You know, the amount of purified water and salt I've chucked away has been a killer, because the amount of time it takes me to make the water, and you know, obviously, like I said before, I've got to feed 7 of us with that water, and make, you know, to do a couple of batches of 3 litre Ormus is takes quite a lot more time to make the prepared water. But I've started, like I said before, hunt for springs, look around for natural springs, holy springs, basically, ones all around the UK and especially around the south where I am. Yeah. I'll make a video soon on spring water. You can see the difference. I've done some tests or comparisons of spring water, unpurified water, magnetic water. If you like this video and you want to see a bit more, just let us know, and I'll make a quick video of the test results of what I've done, and the effects that we get out of it. It does take a little while, because the spring water I do collect and gather of, you know, I want to make more Ormus out of it. I want to drink it. I want to, you know, feed it to my family and, you know, whoever else. So I'll get it tested just to make sure there's no pesticides. And you can usually tell when you try and make the Ormus with it. You don't get much of a big yield in this. It's not the same. It's not pure white. It's more of a translucent colour, but it's the same amount of Ormus there, but it's a bit more translucent. It's a bit strange. I tried magnetic trap water, so they've got they're in the results as well. Look at Dave Kane or David Wolf about magnetic trap water. Give you a bit more information about them. We're just finishing off now. Just getting up to what it is. Adding a bit more water in there just to get that pH up. Lye. Sorry. This is one of my first videos, so bear with me. I will get you soon. I will get doing more. Obviously, I want to help people in their journey. I sort of spent 4 or 5 years at my own journey, lost loved ones, which helped start my journey in a way. A bit late to start, but you know, I'll do a video on the benefits of Ormus, results I've had on myself, the way I feel. I'll put it this way: 4 years ago, I was absolutely crazy. 3 mental health problems. The last 3 years, I ain't had one problem whatsoever. Once you see the results of what Ormus can do, the medical results, there you go, this quick 10.61 is probably as much as it got up to. But the medical results, there's a place in Sweden done a lot of tests on Ormus in the brain. We'll have a look at that. That's, you know, astonishing what it does to your brain within minutes of taking it. They pretty much said anybody who wants to pass an exam, if you're doing an exam, drive an exam, the test, anything, you want to consume Ormus just before, it spikes your intelligence for the time that you're doing it. but over time it just increases in intelligence. My intelligence has definitely increased over the couple of years. I was an intelligent guy before, quite high IQ. You know, pretty talented with my hands, can pretty much make and do anything I put my mind to. But this has just increased it even more. More sharpness, more alert. My eyesight's better, more in tune with nature when I'm out and about. Got some crazy videos of being able to see my aura from the shadowing sun, from the sun behind me shadowing onto a lake. You can, it's craziness. You can really see it rippling. Just leave some comments down below, and I'll put that video on here so you can have a look at that as well. But yeah, we got there with the Ormus. We're up to the 10 point. I think this went up to about 10.62 to 63. Just gonna get everything else ready for finishing up the Ormus, because obviously I've just made it. It's been playing Tibetan singing bowls through the speaker for the whole time I've been making it and preparing the water. The water got blasted with good vibes, good frequencies just before we used it. Obviously the magnetic restructuring of the water itself. There's another batch I was just messing about with. This video is sort of a mix of a couple of videos, so we'll just have him come in and interfere right a second. But yeah, this one I'm just washing at the moment and drawing the water out. I'm going to refill again in a minute, just preparing stuff. We usually do this at night, late at night when it's quiet on the roads. Obviously I live in a city, I'm not planning to move, but I don't know when. I have to keep it quiet as possible. Night time, no kids, no misses, everybody's asleep. Good dreams going on. I get the sound of Tibetan bowls, resonating through my home while I'm asleep. So my kids seem to wake up a bit happier. What I'm doing there, the flower of life. These ones that I've drawn myself, taking the time, taking the energy into sitting down. One night, made a compass out of an old ruler, put 2 holes in it. Basically, drew my flower of life. They're stuck all around the outside of it. At the moment, I'm just putting some, my chi, my energy in it. And practice a bit of telekinesis. So it's definitely improved with that, because telekinesis is about projecting energy, and if you're consuming energy, it makes it a lot more easier. I'm sticking it, again, put it in the tin foil, stick that on the bottom, give it a nice little cup hat to sit in there, with the flower life strapped to the side of it. We've got this is about 3 or 4 layers decent thick foil, which is going to get strapped around the outside of it just to keep it protected. So we've still got the music going. It'll be played for a good few hours. I'll pretty much switch the music on for a couple of hours each day just to give it some good energy, and try and give it some good energy and good vibes and good life back into it. But we'll make sure it's good and covered. Put the top hat lid on it. I'll try and mark with a whiteboard marker, so a marker that you can rub away on the top of the glass containers of what the pH was when I started. So I'm pulling them out through the day, through each day. I can test the pH and see where it's going. There's another one I created the night before. Got quite a bit of yield out of that one. That one I think was just basically the Dead Sea salt, because I'll get most of my best results from the Dead Sea salt. I've got a new supply of Himalayan salt, but for some reason, I don't know what part of the Himalayas it was taken from, but it doesn't seem to be, I can't seem to gather a lot of Ormus out of it. It's a bit strange. I can buy some packets from one shop where I render Ormus out of it, and I can buy packets from another shop where I won't render any Ormus out of it. So it's a bit of a strange one, that. But yeah, just preparing it now, getting all prepared, getting the box ready. So I've got it's all in the sealed box and sealed table. I've got the crystals, you've got good charms, blue bottles, things I find all over the place. But what we'll do now is I'll just I'm gonna top this one up with water. So this one I started washing. And there we go, jump to this is the storage, basically where they get stored and where they're kept all the time. Because you've got almost to the left and right, big crystals, a big quartz crystal there to give it some, just taking the vibrations of the Tibetan singing bowls. There's a cardboard box that's lined on the outside with a couple of layers of tin foil, and on the inside it's got thick tin foil trays where I can give it a bit more shielding. But we'll put newly created Ormus in together, and then stuff we're washing we'll be leaving on the back sides or in different storage. And there's a little jar of personal. I think there's about 6 different salts in there. It's definitely got a kick to it. This one I cherish a lot, so I want to put a lot of thoughts and intention into it. There we go, just sticking a few crystals on top to keep them. Try and keep them as balanced and as much energy running through them as possible. Some days I open the box and lift it out, and some of the Ormus will be floating around inside, coming off in big waves and whispers and like a thin smoke. It seems to be alive. Some days I lift it out and there's nothing. It looks like mountains and it's all bumpy. And some days, like I said, there'll be a wispy smoke. So it's basically the setup. I said before, I've got my flower lives all around it, slapped everywhere. There's a wooden table, tin foil, aluminium foil, or aluminum foil, whatever way you want to pronounce it, but I'm English and it's aluminium foil. It's underneath the table, it's all around the sides, it's basically all around the walls to chop any interference from the rooms next door. The lid's covered. So this is well protected from frequencies, Wi-Fi, EMF, waves. And that's it. That's my little Ormus hat. There's a couple behind me where it's all pretty much the same. We do store a lot of Ormus. We store a lot of the water that we bless. Basically, you're blessing it when you do stuff. But that's it. That is the end of it. So if you like the video, like and share it. Let people know about Ormus. Obviously, there's a benefit to the world if we all experience it. Ormus can be purchased. You have to contact me if you need anything. Website's being built at the moment. It's up and running. This needs a little tiny bit more work to be presented. You can contact me beforehand in the comments or private message me, email me, Google Plus, whatever way you want to contact us. Like I said before, any questions, any queries about what to do, if there's something I haven't covered and you've heard before in here, just let me know and I'll do my best to explain it or help you with any problems. Like I said, it's crucial when you're making it, don't take it up to the 10.78 straight away, because it will fluctuate up and down. And obviously don't stir once it's settled before a wash. Do not stir it back into the saline water, into the wastewater, the lye water that's floating on top. So the first time it settles before a wash, try not to mix it up, because the pH will, it spike over 12 and then it's just ruined. I've tried this, I've tested it, I've done it in a pot, started it up, spun it up, and it went to, I think it's 12.6 or something. So yeah, it's definitely, and it made more Ormus. I got more yield out of it. So it's if the science is true that over 10.78 that Gilchrist and other lethal M state comes out, and it's not really, it's gonna be that's coming out. So try not to stir it until you get your first washing. If you do test it, if it's gone over the 10.78, then discard it. Don't drink it. It makes yourself ill. You know, in the past when I started, I think I drank a few like that, and it didn't. It wasn't too good for my head. Put it that way. But like I say, over the years, you experiment, you try, you get better at it. And we're just here to help everybody else. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe to more videos. I'll make some more. There's plenty more to make. We've got plenty of results, information, spiritual stuff that's happened over the time. Obviously, energies, chakras, and auras, and you know, just strange things that's happened since I've been taking Ormus. Well, thank you very much, and namaste.